Hello, welcome back to Richard's Toy Room. Here's our next model kit we're going to do. I was curious on this because I've never seen this model before. And I mean, obviously it's not a new model, it's a reissue. But I kind of assumed that just from the looks of it that maybe it was originally an MPC kit, even though it's marked AMT. Round 2 bought all the classic model companies up except for Rebelle and Monogram, and I've noticed a few times that they've released kits under different manufacturers' names than they were originally issued under. So I kind of, out of curiosity, did a little bit of a Google search, and I saw that this was an Ertl kit, which, and again, oddly, I never even seen an Ertl model before. Now, I knew Ertl bought AMT, and there was AMT Ertl for a long time, but I've never actually seen an Ertl model kit. So that was kind of interesting. That's about as far as I got into it. But anyway, so this is the next one I wanted to do of my giant pile of kits. So I'll just show you the box here real quick. It just shows you just some of the details that the kit has. And obviously the two ends are always usually the same as the box top unless there's something really unique going on with the kit, and then they'll utilize that for something else. But this is the, I believe it's a 77 or a 78 International. Was International Harvester. They were kind of a little bit more famous for making like farming equipment, but they made pretty good truck too. Unfortunately, they, I believe they're still in business, but they don't make trucks like, you know, passenger trucks anymore. Anyway, this is their Scout model, but this was a special SS, which I don't know what that stands for, SS2. And this is a little bit more of a off-road kind of sporty version of that that model. Anyway, let's get on with it. So here's the instruction kit, or I mean the instruction booklet. Again, now this is another odd one. I've never actually seen an instruction booklet like this before, in all the years I've done models. And this one has like actual pictures of completed models, and it's a nice booklet, although it seems very primitive in their the way they've kind of designed it. It almost has a 50s, 60s look to it, but obviously it can't be that old because the truck's from the late 70s. So it's you know, it's like pretty much a straightforward instruction booklet, except they do show in a little odd manner that I'm not used to. I mean, like here, they keep having pictures of the model with you know, in different positions, showing you, like in this one it tells you some information on what's going on in this step. And also they have all these lines that almost look like blueprints, where the lines go in all angles and stuff over each other, the dotted lines. Now for such a low part count kit, it actually has quite a bit of detail to it. And you'll see that when we show you the kits. I mean, I think there's only like 50 something parts in the kit. And here's the back. Now obviously this is not a reprint of the original, since this is has round 2 and these 2 releases that are current as for when this was released. But pretty interesting, unique in my experience anyway. I'm sure it's not unique to the world of models. So let's get to, well, let's show you the decals first. I'm actually going to use some of these decals. I did a tiny bit of research. I usually do a lot as I'm starting to build the kit, but it has these graphics that go on the quarter panels, and from what I could see looking up the pictures of this this actual vehicle, they use these same decals on pretty much any body color. So they may have been the only option for this model. But they give you a lot of like reflector decals and tail lights for some reason. A lot of license plates. I've never seen so many license plate decals in one kit. And some of these like racing decals, I won't be using any of those. And a couple of actual International Harvester emblems. So those will probably be utilized as well. But yeah, for once I'll actually be using some of the decals. I think it just fits because it's a 70s model that would look good. And I already picked out the color I want to do. I just got to see if I can find the paint in that kind of color. Now let's take a look at the tires. Now here's another kind of odd thing. These tires, they're nice tires actually. They're Goodyear tires. Now I wish they would have printed the white letters on them, although they're pretty beefy, so I don't think I'll have too much of a problem. Probably going to use something like this, gel pen, but I might go get a white one. But what's weird about these tires, they're sort of hollow, and they're you know, rubbery, but they're like open on the back. I haven't come across this kind of tire before. And what happens is, dig this ahead of time. I'll dig this sheet out so you can see. These are the wheel backs, and they go, so what you're actually putting together is part of the tire, this wider part, which I don't like that, because then I gotta paint it. Now what if I want to make the rims a different color, which I probably do. I think I want to make them white, so then I have to paint this part black, and that's just kind of a pain in the butt. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. The only tires they give you, and I don't feel like digging through my stash to see if I have anything else that would work, because it's still taped up in boxes. I haven't. The models are lower on the priorities list on when I'm going to have those displayed in the toy room. Anyway, before I blabber on here, another odd thing is most of the stuff that they've chromed here has to be painted. At least on the pictures I've seen. The grille is black, the bumpers are black. I believe the air cleaner, I believe, is red. So I believe these are probably red as well. They give you a CB radio and handle and cord, which should be black, not chrome. Maybe the only thing that might stay chrome are these mirrors, but I have to look and see. They're probably painted too. So anyway, that just seemed like a waste of chrome to me. And then they give you, here's another weird thing. Well, they give you these taillights, which are nice, which is normal. They're clear red. But I don't know if this shows very well in the camera. I think I could see it in the preview screen. This is your windshield. It's just a piece of like clear plastic, flat, clear, thin plastic. It's not like a molded styrene piece. It's just like cardstock kind of plastic. So you have to cut that to fit into the flat windshield. Kind of chintzy. So let's get the white parts out here. There's not a lot. That's it. So this one here is just a little tree. These are they go on the bed of the truck all the way around the back, and this would be all these little raised dots, if you can see them, are supposed to be snaps where you would put the cover, the canvas top that goes on the actual vehicle that you do not get, by the way. That's what that is. Then here they give you the stock rims, they give you some exhaust pipes, and these seats, as far as I saw so far, man, I have not seen these type of seats in any of the pictures I've looked at. Admittedly, I've only done a very minor bit of research so far, so maybe these are an optional seat, but they looked like normal seats in the ones I looked at, not these crazy, like, racing-looking bucket seats. But anyway, they don't give you another pair to use, so I got to use these. Here's the last actual tree. You got the hood, you got your both axles, you got your engine, you saw the wheels. Looks like a gas tank here. That's about it. And then obviously the I'll get this part. The body and the frame, which includes the whole interior. There's the underside. Not a whole lot of detail on like the door panels and stuff. The body's actually pretty decent, and the detail is pretty pronounced, so it would be easy to tape off. Like, these door sections are supposed to be black, and then this would be like body color, and then these. It would have been nice if these were separate, these fenders were separate, and it could have painted them a little easier because they're supposed to be black as well, so that'll have to be taped off and painted. But I think it'll be pretty decent. It's just the tailgate does not open. It's just a pretty simple kit. So it's actually not a bad thing if you're not looking for something that if you're looking for something that you don't want to do like a ton of detail and spending like a lot of time on. It might be a quicker build. Now if I could just get the paint job right, I have the worst luck in paint. I've got one now. This will probably get done before that one. I'm working on the 1971 Thunderbird model, and oh god, it's just the worst nightmare I've ever had with paint so far. I'll explain it in the video when I finally get to that point when you see the Thunderbird video, but oh, I have the worst luck with paint, so don't ask me for painting tips like one viewer did. I'm just lucky if I can get it to look good when I'm done. So anyway, that's it for now. If I remember, like I did not on the Lincoln, to do some interim updates, you'll see some progress reports on this in the meantime. So stay tuned. Okay, so how about we do a little update here on the International Scout. I would like to go over some of the issues that I've had with it so far in the build and show you what I've come up with. So I don't normally do, as you can see on the box art, it's orange. And I don't normally paint my models what they suggest on the box art cover. I don't know if it's just I don't like to be controlled in some manner, like they're telling me it has to be this color. But when I was looking up the I was actually going to paint it like a tan, like an army kind of tannish color. But then when I was looking at the pictures of it online, doing a little bit of research, I saw the orange one, and I kind of liked it, so I decided to go with the orange. So I went and got some Rust-Oleum, I think they call it fire orange, and I painted a flat black base coat underneath it, so it would give it a little bit darker orange on top of that. And I like the way it came out. I still have to do the black parts. I was waiting for this to kind of, sit for a couple of days and get nice and hard on the paint, so I didn't mar it doing any kind of taping off on it. So anyway, so basically it's black and orange is what we're dealing with here. But the one thing I noticed on this kit, and it's a little disappointing, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, it's a very low parts count. And they left a lot of stuff out of this that they could have put in here. Like, there's no master cylinder. There's no booster. There's, not Not that they needed like heater hoses and junk like that, but there's like absolutely zero detail on like the firewall. Nothing along that line. The dashboard is kind of sparsely detailed, but the real one wasn't exactly, knocking the detail out of the park to begin with. But yeah, I mean, they weirdly they went into a lot of detail underneath of on the underside, but left things off that just bizarrely for some reason. I don't understand the choice on that. Whoever designed the kit. And also, this has like non-factory exhaust. I mean, it's got this headers and these side pipes coming out the side here, and I mean, it's okay for what it is, but I kind of like things to be as authentic as possible, and this is far from that. Also, the mirrors that they give you look nothing like anything that I've seen. Not even the ones on the box. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I won't even use them. I'll have to see what they end up looking like. How I can attach them on there. Another thing they gave you, like in here, there's like absolutely zero detail. They show like the front part here. They show like the radiator, the mesh part of the radiator here that you would see like through the grill, but nothing on this side. No fan shroud for the engine. It's just bizarre, some of the choices that they made with this kit to leave out. I mean, also another thing I noticed, I'm going to use the decals that they gave, but online I did find on the back here, these two rectangles in the tailgate are supposed to have matching decals for the ones on the side. They're non-existent on the decal sheet, so I'll probably just maybe paint them a similar color so they, stand out a little bit. But not much more I can do about that. Trying to think if there was anything else. In the directions, the battery, they tell you to put it on the passenger side of the engine compartment, but every picture I looked at online, it was on the driver's side. So I don't know. It's weird, some of the choices that they made with this kit. But basically, that's where we are at this point. I've got a semi-rolling chassis. The front wheels do move, but the rear ones, unfortunately, they're just a little too tight on the axles. I don't care. It's not like I'm going to be rolling it around like a Hot Wheels. I think that's about it. There's not a whole lot of parts left. I mean, basically, bumpers, grill, taillights, the seats, and then just detailing up the body here and slapping it together. So that's probably what you're going to see on the next segment. There's not a whole lot left to do on it. So stay tuned for that. All right, and here we go with the final reveal of the International Off-Road Scout SS2, which I believe was either a 77 or a 78. Not 100% sure on that. It doesn't specify. So let me turn the turntable on here. I'll give you a close-up turntable review after we go over anything, after we go over the rest of the build of this kit. So anyway, it actually wasn't too bad of a kit put together. Paint came out fairly good on it. Some of the issues that I had since the update there, the body, it went together pretty good. I mean, I've had ones that were a lot worse. The hardest part was back here in where the tailgate, not the tailgate, but the whatever this part in the back is called, the bed, where it kind of meets the fenders and the tailgate. It kind of didn't want to fit too good there. And also up here where the dashboard hits the cowl, had to do a little trimming to get those to fit right. As far as everything else, it went together pretty well. Now, I ended up I'll turn this off when it gets around to the part where I'm talking about here. Let me move this. In the back here, you remember I pointed out that there's supposed to be decals back there. What I actually ended up doing was I painted those panels, I painted those raised panels black, and then I took what were some optional license plate decals and I trimmed them to fit in those spaces where the same size as those panels, and I put the decals in there in place of the decals that they didn't provide, which actually I think looks pretty good. It says Scout and the other one says SS2. And they also, since they're black and gold, they match the decals on the sides too. So they didn't give you, I don't think they even mentioned the decals in the instructions about putting the antenna in. Now this looks to me like it's supposed to be a CB antenna. I'm not sure if that's where it's supposed to go, but they, like I said, they didn't specify, and in the pictures on the box it shows an antenna there, so that's where I put it. And as far as anything else, I mean, nothing really to speak of. I did end up using all the decals for the running lights and the reflectors. I don't know if you can see them all on the sides and the back and the front down here. I just thought I'd give it a try and see how it would come out, and they seemed to work pretty good. The big decals went on with no problem. I did use the international decals over the ones that were embossed into the plastic. I just put them over that. The only decals I didn't use that, were provided were for the taillights, which I don't know, I thought they would have looked kind of cheesy putting decals over the actual red lenses, because they did have like the backup lenses and stuff in them, which are not present on the moldings of these taillights. But I also did, on the white letter tires, I used, where is it? I bought this Jelly Roll white. It's I think it's a 0.05 millimeter tip on it. It's smaller than, it's almost like a ballpoint pen. It's smaller than the other gel pens that I have, and I thought it would be a little easier to do the finer letters on the white letter tires, and it was. Now you have to be careful because those will rub off if you rub them with your fingers. So overall, I think came out pretty good. Barring the lack of detailing and some misconstrued information in the instructions. And I did end up using the mirrors. I painted them black and obviously left the mirror part chrome. And I put them on there to look the best that I could. They look nothing like the mirrors that actually came with the truck. I think that's it. Oh, one other thing I usually do, I don't know if I've mentioned this, the headlights here, you probably can't see, but you might be able to tell when I do the closer up round table. When they don't give you actual clear lenses with a kit like this one, that these were basically, this whole grill on here was chrome and the headlights were molded in, and I really hate that. I love having the actual lenses because they look a lot more real. But what I did was I painted the whole grill black, and then instead of like trying to remove the paint to expose the headlights, I just painted them with my, whatever I did with it. There's nothing around when you're looking for it. Anyway, it's Molotow chrome pen marker. You've seen it before. And then what I always do after that on those, I put 1 or 2 layers of this Testors. This is called Clear Part Cement and Window Maker. And sometimes I'll also do this on dashboard over like the speedometer or like wherever there's like a clear lens. And you know, you may not notice it, but it does give just the slightest little change to the chrome. And also, if you're looking at it and it has a reflection on it, if you put enough layers of this on, it'll even actually kind of almost, I don't want to say yellow it, but it changes the tone of the chrome just enough so it doesn't look like it's fake. And you can see like the reflection on the headlights, so it almost looks like they're glass. So that's pretty cool. I like putting those little details on like that. Even if somebody doesn't notice them, at least I kind of know they're there and I can see them. Now, I did not do it on the spotlights on the front bumper brush guard. But the only other thing was doing the windshield, which they basically gave you a flat piece of plastic, you know, like almost like cellophane, but you know, thick, like a piece of mylar. And they don't give you a whole lot of room around the edges, so I had to, you know, you gotta make sure you get that almost exactly the right size to fit in there. And then I used the clear glue to glue it in. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. I'll say goodbye now, and I'll do the close-up. I'll also give you a peek under the hood before I do that. And next up is going to be, well, you know, I have to check my videos and see what I actually uploaded, because I've completed quite a few videos, but I'm not sure if I uploaded them yet. That's pretty sad. But I was on vacation, so forgive me. But the 71 Thunderbird, I just finished that last night, and I'm already decided which one I'm going to do next, but you'll have to be surprised for that. But I did complete a couple of other models that I don't think I uploaded yet, so there'll be a bunch of stuff coming probably in the next week or so. So thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned for more. So here's a quick peek under the hood before the round table reveal. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of detail in there, but I did the best I could with what I had.